This video is on what if Naruto was Madara Ukai's grandchild part 1. The like goal for this what if is 39 likes. Sooner like goal is meets sooner I will upload the next part for this what if. If you enjoy this what if, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Disclaimer, I don't own Naruto nor this fanfic. In a remote location one could only see destruction. As the sun was slowly rising it showed two men, one standing and one seemingly dead. All around the battlefield were weapons, craters and apparently a large waterfall, no doubt created by the intensity of the fight. This place would later be known as the Valley of the End. The man that was barely standing had neck-length long black hair, black eyes and was wearing what appeared to be a worn red armor with plates going around the arms and chest for protection. The man was no other than Hashirama Senju, leader of the Senju clan and Shodaime Hokage of Konoha no Sato, hidden village among the leaves. Why did it come to this, Madara? Asked Hashirama to himself, overlooking the corpse of his long-term friend. The now identified man lying on the ground had long spiky black hair that almost reached his hip, covering the left part of his face including his left pitch black eye. He also wore the same armor style. Lying on the ground with a sword impaled in his chest was Ukai Madara, former leader of the Ukai clan and co-founder of the Leaf Village. I'm sorry, but you chose the wrong path. A broken bar. Goodbye old friend, may you find peace in the afterlife, said Hashirama as he turned to walk away from the long battle he just fought. His head lowered in shame as he couldn't save his friend from his choices. Couple days later, a unknown location. Oh my head, a broken bar. Where am I? Asked Madara, slowly opening his eyes. He immediately shot up and winced from the pain in his chest. Looking around he found out he was in a small wooden house. From the looks of it, it was a modest looking house, small, probably only one person lived there. Easy there champ, you got wounded pretty badly, said an unknown female as she approached him. Looking at her he noticed she had long smooth blonde hair that reached her waist, blue eyes and an oval face. She was wearing a brown shirt that easily showed her C-cup breasts and dark blue pants. All in all, standing in front of him was a beautiful young woman smiling at him. Who are you? Where am I? Asked Madara, being a bit weary to the female even though he was still weak from the fight. Well, my name is Namikaze Hangako, and as to where you are, we are in rice field country near the ocean, said Hangako, featuring a small smile that didn't go unnoticed by Madara. What happened? How did I get here? Asked an impatient Madara, trying to find out what happened since his memory was a bit fuzzy. So many questions, just lie down and relax. You got injured in your last fight and barely made it. You are lucky that I found you and brought here and healed you. There were times I didn't think you would pull off. After all, not many people survive getting a sword through their chest. Now how about you tell me who you are? Asked Hangako, taking in account that the man was probably a shinobi. I am the great Ukai Madara, former leader of the Ukai clan, co-founder of the Leaf Village, said Madara with a pride in being a member of the Ukai clan. A bit full of ourselves, aren't we? Said Hangako, giggling at Madara and getting a glare from him. Are you a shinobi? Asked Hangako with caution, not knowing yet if he could be trusted. Indeed I am. I am one of the most powerful shinobi in the world, known only to be matched in power by Hashirama Senju, the current Shodaime Hokage of the Leaf Face, said Madara, spitting the last word with venom. He still hated the Leaf and his clan from not following his leadership and abandoning him to follow a Senju of all people. You still got your ass handed to you, a broken bar, said Hangako, chuckling and going full-blown laughter as Madara was glaring at her and murmuring something about disrespectful and troublesome blondes. A/N, maybe Madara was related to the Naras. Well, I am going out for some food. Get some rest, it will take a couple months to get you back to full health, said Hangako as Madara was laying back in the bed remembering his loss to Hashirama, but chuckling darkly as he remembered that he got what he was going for. 5 years later, a rice-field country. Many would have thought that Ukai Madara was a cold person incapable of love or caring about another person other than himself. However, this couldn't be far from the truth. In the last 5 years a lot has changed, and although Madara wouldn't admit it, he has grown very close to Hinako, actually treating her like his wife and even abandoning his plans for revenge against his fellow clan members. Maybe this is the peace I always chased, thought Madara as he watched the love of his life with her head on his chest. In past years he adopted the life of fisherman along with Hinako and left behind all the fights and wars he once fought. Hinako also got to know about Madara and his clan and village that he created along his long-life rival and friend Hashirama. She got to know about the life of a Shinobi and Madara's Kekkai Genkai, the Sharingan. Who would have thought that the great Uchiha Madara would simply live a simple civilian life away from battles? Ironic, as I always wished to die in the heat of battle at the hands of a powerful enemy, said Madara as he chuckled as he almost died at the hands of Hashirama. If leaving the Shinobi life is what it takes to be and make Hinako happy, I will gladly forget about my past and focus in the future, thought Madara as he drifted off to sleep, embracing the warmth of her lover. Another 5 years later, a rice-filled country. Another 5 years have passed and now we could see a happy Madara leaning against a tree embracing Hinako in his chest. Both glancing at the sea, they could see a 4-year-old kid trying to stand in the water. He had spiky blonde hair and bluest eyes anyone had ever seen. His name was Namikaze Minato, son of Uchiha Madara and Namikaze Hinako. Seeing their son trying and failing to stand in the water, both parents sighed, feeling happy about having a wonderful child and a wonderful partner that loved the other. Although Madara had abandoned his Shinobi ways, he decided to train young Minato to defend himself should the need ever arise. Madara also explained him that he decided to give him her mother's name because the Uchiha were known and feared all over the world. He also explained him and showed him his Sharingan, saying that one day he would also wield it and that he should be proud of his heritage. A few weeks later, Madara was currently heading home after going into town to buy groceries. In the way home he felt a burst of chakra in the direction of his house. Even though Madara had abandoned being a Shinobi, he still kept most of his skills sharp, never knowing when you might need them. Quickly rushing through the woods, his house came into view and he saw a bleeding Hinako and young Minato trying to hold off a couple of rogue Shinobi. Without hesitation, he quickly disappeared in a burst of speed and stopped just in time to block a sword that would have killed his only son. Activating the Sharingan, he just glared at the 4 Shinobi in front of them. By the looks of them, they were merely Chunin level. The Shinobi, seeing the Sharingan glowing in all its power, the leader of group asked, "Who are you?" Stuttering after seeing the Sharingan. The Shinobi knew too well the power of that Kekkai Genkai and its clan members. "I am Madara, Uchiha Madara," said Madara as wind blew the hair on his back, giving him an aura of power that intimidated even the most powerful enemies. After hearing the name, the Shinobi paled and took a couple of steps back at seeing that man in front of them, the legendary Uchiha Madara, former leader of the Uchiha clan. Without hesitation, Madara activated his Suzu and quickly killed the 4 Shinobi without remorse. Looking back, he saw that Minato was passed out from chakra exhaustion. Approaching his lover, he looked at her eyes and his heart filled with remorse for not being there, not being able to protect the one person that mattered the most in his world, the love of his life. Take care of our son," said a weak Hinako, giving one last kiss to her lover. She closed her eyes never to open them again. Madara just stood there frozen, looking at his now dead wife. In his mind he was getting flashes of the last 10 years of his life. In the last years all he got was happiness, only to get that stolen from him. Taking one last look at his Hinako, he made a decision that would influence all entire world. "I was too *V to think this would last, too *V to believe the world had changed, too *V leave my plans behind. I will lead the world to true peace and happiness. I will honor your memory, Hinako. I will create a world made of love and happiness, and I will make sure that you will stand by my side," thought Madara as he picked his son and jumped into the woods leaving behind his former home. A month later Madara and Minato were standing a few miles outside the main gates of Konoha. As Madara looked one final time to Minato. "Minato, my son," said Madara, getting Minato's attention. In the last month Madara trained Minato to the ground, bent on getting his son as strong as possible so he could keep himself safe. During this month of training Minato had activated his Sharingan, quite a feat for someone so young. Remember, keep the Uchiha name and bloodline a secret from the village, but never forget your legacy. Even though I dislike the Senju, this village will keep you safe and strong. Never abandon your beliefs and fight for what you hold dear. Only when fighting to protect someone precious to you will you show your true strength. I am sorry to leave alone, but his is something I must do alone. Speak to the Sandaime Hokage and tell him you are an orphan and wish to join Konoha. He will keep you safe. There may come a time when we will fight each other. Until then, good luck," said Madara as he started to walk away, leaving his son to a new path. "Well, I guess this is it," said Minato as he walked through the main gates of Konoha and said to himself, "I will make you proud, son, and I will honor your memory, Kasan." 20 years later, an undisclosed location, outside of Konoha. Thought out the entire room and scream echoed. This scream seemed to belong to a young baby. The baby weighed 3 kilograms and had spiky blonde hair and pair of dark blue eyes. Pretty much a carbon copy of his father Minato Namikaze. "Congratulations, Kushina-san, it's a beautiful boy," said the nurse as she handed the newborn baby to her mother. The woman in the bed could only be described as a redhead beauty. With long smooth crimson red hair going all the way to her waist, blue eyes and ample D-cup breasts adorned her well-developed body. She embraced her son for the first time. "Hello, Tsuchiya Broken Bar," said Kushina. Minato turned to his son and said, "Welcome to our family, Naruto Broken Bar." "Rest, Kushina, you will have plenty of time," said Biwako as she picked up Naruto for his first bath. Biwako is a woman with 170 centimeters, long brown hair trapped in a ponytail with brown eyes. She is around 50 years old and is the wife of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Sandaime Hokage, the previous leader of Konoha. "How are you feeling, Kushina?" asked Minato, concerned with her loving wife. "Just tired," she replied. "Thank you," he said. When suddenly a voice unknown to both Minato and Kushina echoed through the room. "Step away from the Jinshu Uriki Yondaime," the masked man said as he held Naruto hostage with a kunai at his neck. Biwako and the nurse lay dead in the floor. "Okay, just calm down," said Minato, frightened. Concern evident in his eyes. "Speak for yourself, Yondaime." "I am perfectly calm," a masked man said as he threw Naruto in the air, preparing to stab with a kunai. Suddenly in a yellow flash Minato grabbed Naruto as the masked man made his way towards Kushina. Buzzing was heard as Minato realizes 5 explosive tags placed in the blanket around Minato. In a burst of speed Minato removes the blanket and teleports to his safe house. Minato's safe house, outside of Konoha. Explosion occurred as Minato is blasted away with his son in his arms. "That man is no ordinary shinobi," said Minato, wondering just who the masked man is. "He managed to separate me from Kushina." Teleporting to the Namikaze compound, Minato places his son on the bed, whispering, "Rest now, Naruto, I am going to save your mother. I will be back." Undisclosed location, outside of Konoha. The masked man approached Kushina and warped away to outside the house. Placing his head on her stomach, he begins extracting the kyubi. In a couple of minutes a figure is seen erupting from her stomach and materializing in the air. There stood the 9-tailed demon fox in all its glory with 9 tails swinging. With a glimpse the masked man traps the kyubi under its control. The once red-slitted eyes of the kyubi are now red with 3 black domos, the Sharingan glowing in all its power. "Wait," said a weak Kushina, realizing what was about to happen. "Incredible. The Uzumaki clan is simply incredible. Not even extracting a tailed beast from you is enough to kill you," said the masked man as he commanded the kyubi to kill his former Jinshu Uriki. "It's only fitting that the kyubi kills its container," he said. As the kyubi is about to crush Kushina, a yellow flash is seen. Standing in a tree not far away we see Minato with Kushina in his arms bridal style. He really lives up to his name. Minato Nimike's Konoha's yellow flash, he says, warping to the edge of the village. Minato flashed to the Nimike's compound, laying Kushina near her son as she embraces him. Kushina, I going to stop the Kyuubi. Take care of him, he said, and in a yellow flash is gone. North entrance of Konoha. It was a warm, calm summer night in the hidden village of the Leaf. Lights were seen all around the village as the people followed their lives unaware of what was about to happen. Kuchos no Jutsu, summoning Jutsu, the masked man said, slapping his palm on the ground, and his burst of smoke. There it stood, the Kyuubi ready to unleash its fury upon the unsuspecting village. Suddenly a roar is heard as the Kyuubi starts its destruction. Swinging its tails and using its paws, nothing stood in his way. Sandame, the Kyuubi has appeared in the north part of the village, said, and Anbu has he bowed to the Sandame Hokage. Yes, I heard it. Summon the forces and evacuate the civilians. He must push the Kyuubi out of the village and wait for the fourth, said the Sandame. Minato Nimike's is seen standing in the top of the Hokage monument ready to go face the Kyuubi when he senses a presence behind him. Quickly ducking and turning around, he swings a kunai only to phase through the head of his enemy. Suddenly everything begins to become distorted as the masked man starts to absorb in a ripple-like pattern Minato. Before it's finished, Minato disappears. He flashed away to his safe house. Safe house. After Minato escaped, masked man. That technique, Minato said, pondering what he just experienced. It's a space-time technique more advanced than my own. It happens it doesn't require seals, or I would have seen them with my Sharingan. It is best if hide my Sharingan under a Genjutsu. I don't know who he is, but his chakra signature seems familiar. Suddenly a figure starts to appear just a few meters away from Minato. There it stood, the masked man, preparing to face the legendary Kero Senko, yellow flash. The man stared at each other, each one daring to make the first move. Who are you? Asked Minato as he wondered who could possibly have the power to not only unleash but also control the Kyuubi. My name is long forgotten and despised in the history of this village. I was once known as Madara Akaya, but you can call me Tobi, he replied, chuckling at the irony of asking a masked man who he is. Number. I know for a fact that you are not Madara Akaya. Although your chakra seems familiar, you are not him. Minato said, trying to find out the masked man identity. The masked man simply stood there wondering how in the world could the Yondaime know that he isn't Madara. Something here isn't right. How can he know Madara's chakra signature? Tobi thought. Both warriors dashed at each other in a battle for speed. The fastest would win. Minato simply throws his Hiraishin, Flying Thunder God technique, kunai at Tobi as it's phased through his head. Getting closer to each other, preparing for the face-off, Minato charges a Rasengan in his right hand, preparing to slam it into Tobi. Tobi is about to touch Minato, preparing to absorb him. Victory is mine, he says, and suddenly Minato disappears from his sight only to appear behind his back using the kunai he previously threw. Minato twists his body, slamming the Rasengan into Tobi, vaporizing the area and marking Tobi with Hiraishin's seal. I underestimated him, Tobi says, when suddenly Minato appears in front of him, stabbing him with a kunai and applying a contract remove seal to free the Kyuubi. Tobi, seeing that he lost this battle, says, I will be back and I will get my revenge on the Leaf Village, as he warps away. Something tells me he wasn't joking and he's a Akaya with a chakra signature similar to my father's. I wonder who he is. Thought Minato as he gets up, getting ready to stop the Kyuubi flashing to the battlefield. Battlefield Konoha. In northern part of the village, in the battlefield stood the Sandame leading the forces, trying his best to push the Kyuubi away from the village, when suddenly he hears Kuchos no Jutsu, Minato says as he drops on top with Kyuubi with his summon game Ubuntu to Toad Boss, pinning the Kyuubi into the ground. Try and hold him down as long as you can. Teleporting something this big requires preparation, he says to the Toad Boss as Minato prepares to teleport the Kyuubi away from the village. Are you crazy? I am not a miracle worker. Hurry. Game Ubuntu says. Suddenly both Minato and Kyuubi disappear. Arriving near the safe house with the Kyuubi on its toll, Minato is panting from the massive chakra usage he just pulled to teleport the Kyuubi. Yondaime, quick, you must seal me, I can still feel that damn Akaya pushing me. I refuse to be controlled, says the Kyuubi, much to Minato's surprise. He wants me to seal him? Thought Minato as he teleported to the safe house, picking up Kushina and Naruto for the ritual. Kushina, I need your help to restrain him. He's still being pushed, he says as Kushina gathers the remains of her chakra to form chains to snare the Kyuubi to the ground. Minato starts performing a long chain of seals, and at the end he shouts, Shiki Fujin, dead demon consuming seal, Yondaime, get out of the way, the Kyuubi shouts as it feels being driven to kill his next vessel. However, both Minato and Kushina jump in front of his claw, protecting their son. Kushina, couch, we don't have much time. Any last words? He asks Kushina. Naruto, she starts, I want you to grow into a nice young man and a strong shinobi. Remember to bathe every day and go to bed early, you need your sleep. Also, I want you to make friends, you don't need that many, only a few as long as they are true friends. Also, no drinking until you are 20 and stay away from Jiraiya. I am sorry, Minato, I took your time, don't worry, he starts. Kyuubi, can you look out for my son? I know he will have a hard life. He asks, it would be my honor. I will take care of your kid, the Kyuubi replies, wondering just how the hell this night could have happened. Damn, Minato thought I need to make sure he knows of my father's legacy. I can't let him go to the Ukas. Not with the Kyuubi in him, but I never told anyone and it's too late now, he starts thinking, when suddenly an idea struck his head, maybe this will work. Suddenly Minato gathers what's left of his chakra, pushing it to his eyes as they start spinning, and says in a weak tone, suck at me. Minato starts waving, his eyes are starting to drift off, and he says, Naruto, listen to what your mother said and grow up to be a strong and brave shinobi. And with the last of his strength he whispers, 8 trigram seal. In every shinobi village there is a reminder of their previous leaders and heroes to honor their memory and sacrifice they did to protect and defend their homes. In Konoha there is a certain mountain that shows exactly that. The mountain was actually called the Hokage, leader of the Leaf Village, mountain, and in it were carved the previous and current Hokages of the Leaf, and there it stood the faces of the legendary shinobi. Senju Hashirama, Shodame Hokage, leader of the Senju clan, one of the founders of the Leaf Village and the first user of the Mokutan element. He was a caring and kind person dedicated to serve his village, however he ended up dying during the First Shinobi War. His fight against Uchiha Madara had taken its toll and left him permanently weakened. He was at the time of his death a shell of his former self. But even now, about 80 years after his death, he's still remembered by everyone in the village. The second face belonged to Senju Tobirama, Nadame Hokage. He was Hashirama's younger brother and became Hokage after his brother's death. He too was a very strong shinobi, in fact each of the Hokage was hailed as the strongest shinobi of their time. Tobirama was known for his extremely high water affinity that allowed him to use high rank moves in places without water by condensing the air around him. He too lost his life fighting in the Second Shinobi War, but before his death he appointed Hiruzen Sarutobi, one of his students, as Sandaime Hokage. The third face on the monument was Sarutobi Hiruzen, of the Sarutobi clan, known for their monkey summoning and extreme skill in taijutsu, hand-to-hand combat. Hiruzen is currently around 55 years old. He's one of the most powerful shinobi in the village, but in his prime he was hailed a shinobi no kami, god of the shinobi, mostly because of his skill in ninjutsu that allowed him to combine different elements to his attacks. Hiruzen is the current leader of the Leaf Village after his successor the Yondaime Hokage died. The last face of the monument was Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage, hailed as the strongest of the Hokages. He was also the fastest shinobi to ever live in the elemental nations. Not even the Raikages with lightning armor could compete with him in speed. He was known for his use of the Higurashi no Jutsu, Flying Thunder God technique, a S-rank technique of his creation that allowed him to move at almost the speed of light. This technique was the reason that he was known as Yellow Flash. Due to his blonde hair, the only thing that people managed to see was a yellow flash due to his speed. In the Leaf Village he was a hero that sacrificed his life to kill the Kyuubi no Yoko that attacked the village 5 years ago. And here, 5 years later after the Kyuubi attack, is where our story truly begins with a small boy that despite being mistreated his whole life will rise to become the legend he was. Born to be Konoha. 5 years after Kyuubi attack October 10th it was a warm night in the Leaf Village, the sun was just going down, it was starting to dim. Town lights were coming up and we still could see many people going around the village doing their business. Unlike many other villages, even though Konoha was the most powerful village in the elemental nations it didn't seem militaristic or cold. Many people if they saw Konoha would say that it wasn't a Shinobi village. However, the mountain that surrounded the north part of village was a dead giveaway. In it were carved the faces of the most powerful Shinobi to ever live. It was October 10th, the village was covered in decorations and celebrating the defeat to the Kyuubi that attacked 5 years ago. Everyone in the village was happy, it were times of peace. The wars were long forgotten, but not the hate and pain of many that were lost. Although everyone seemed happy, one particular kid was very sad and lonely. Uzumaki Naruto was an orphan of the Kyuubi attack, he was about 120 centimeters, 3'11", and had spiky blonde hair, the bluest eyes anyone ever had, and in each cheek he had 3 whiskers marks, a birthmark. He was wearing a white shirt with short sleeves with an orange swirl in his back and black pants. Despite being what appeared to be a normal child, Naruto was hated and despised by most of the village. He was a painful reminder of the Kyuubi attack. He was expelled from the orphanage at the age of 4 and lived in the streets for about a month until the Hokage Zanbu found him and took him to the Sandaime. Sandaime eventually became a grandfather figure to him. He gave Naruto a small apartment and allowance to live, but Naruto was constantly pursued by the villagers and constantly abused and beaten. The stores kicked him out or sold him rotten merchandise or charged twice the price. Even in the orphanage he still received the same treatment. Growing up in this kind of life forced Naruto to mature quickly if he wanted to survive. Because of this treatment Naruto became a highly intelligent kid that could rival in aura. He became cold and calculative to everyone except his closest people, that in his case were simply the Hokage himself and the owners of a ramen stand. Only 3 people cared for Naruto and wondered if he was eating or sleeping well. During his birthday things were even worse because the villagers and a few Shinobi would gather up and hunt him down like an animal, and here is where we are. A scared kid was running through the streets of Konoha trying his best to avoid the villagers and Shinobi in hot pursuit. The villagers were shouting, "Die demon, get him, finish what the Yondaime started." Naruto wondered what did he ever do to deserve such treatment and harsh life. "Stop, please, what did I ever do to any of you?" asked Naruto, running as fast as he could, his legs starting to give away. "Oh please, you know very well what you did. You killed my brother and my father," shouted one of villagers as he threw an empty bottle. "We will finish what the Yondaime started and kill the demon," the villager said as the others support him. Naruto kept running until he looked behind to his pursuers and noticed that a couple of them appeared to be Chunin, A/N, Chunin, medium-level Shinobi. Even thought Naruto was a stamina freak, a 5-year-old couldn't compete with the speed of a Chunin. The Chunin quickly closed the distance between him and Naruto. He took out a kunai and did a horizontal slash. Naruto, seeing the kunai that would most likely kill him, he ducked. As he was ducking he noticed that time appeared to be slowing down. After dodging the slash he unwittingly channeled chakra to his legs, trying to jump over a fence to get away. The rest of the Shinobi seeing this were actually surprised, but they couldn't let the demon get away, so all of them threw a couple of kunai at him while saying "kunai cage." Shuriken no Jutsu, the kunai multiplied to 15 and were going fast at Naruto. Naruto, knowing that he couldn't dodge them all in mid-air, started observing them and calculating the best way to avoid them. It was then that it happened. His vision suddenly became clearer and the incoming kunai seemed to almost stop. Just by looking at them he could see where they would land. Reacting to his instincts, Naruto quickly caught one kunai with his hand and started deflecting all of them except one that managed to pass his defenses and hit his shoulder. He cried out in pain but managed to get over the fence and to safety. He pulled the kunai of his shoulder and noticed that the wound was already closing. "I wonder why I'm the only person to heal this fast," he asked himself while walking through the village hidden in the shadows to avoid the villagers, but he quickly noticed that his vision was different. It was black and white and he could see people with a blue flame inside of them that surrounded their body. He tried to push his eyes to see better and suddenly he passed out in the alleyway. The stress and exhaustion of running and taking a kunai to the shoulder was too much. Naruto's mindscape. Naruto awoke in what seemed to be a sewer. There were pipes in every wall and the floor was filled with water with about 20 centimeters in height, 8 inches. He wandered through the endless corridors wondering where he was when he heard a soft male voice calling him. "Follow my voice," the strange voice said. Naruto didn't know him but was drawn to this voice. After walking for a couple of minutes, Naruto found himself staring at a big iron doors with vertical bars. The middle of the door it was a small paper with a kanji for seal. He looked inside the cage but it seemed empty. "Hello there Naruto," said the voice. Naruto jumped back surprised and noticed a man leaning in the sewer wall outside of the cage. Naruto observed the man carefully. The man was about 190 centimeters in height, 6 feet 2. He had spiky blonde hair with 2 bangs that framed his face and had blue eyes. He was wearing a full-body blue suit and the standard Jonin, high-level shinobi, flat jacket. He was also wearing a white cape with red flames and it had the kanji for Yondaime Hokage. "Why Yondaime Hokage?" asked Naruto. He knew very well what happened 5 years ago. He knew that the Yondaime died to kill the Kyuubi. He was a hero. "My name is Minato Namikaze and I am the Yondaime Hokage," he said looking at the kid in front of him and wondered how it happened so soon. Naruto seemed 5 at the most. "How? You were supposed to be dead." "Am I dead too?" Naruto asked. "No, you are not dead but unfortunately I am," Minato replied. "But if you are dead, then where am I? And how do you know my name?" Naruto wondered what the hell was going on. "Naruto, I am going to explain everything to you, listen closely okay?" he asked, to which Naruto nodded. "We are inside your mind, this is your mindscape, it's basically a representation of your mind in physical form, understand?" Naruto nodded. "Now the truth is that I am your father." Naruto froze when he heard that. "No, it can't be, Gigi told me he didn't know who my parents were," Naruto thought. Why you're my father? How?" Naruto asked. "Well, about the how you will find out when you're older," Minato said, chuckling, "but it is true, I am your father and I'm sorry I wasn't here with you, but I had to stop the Kyuubi. But listen, I don't have much time. You probably wondered why this village treats you like a monster." To which Naruto slowly nodded. "Well, there isn't an easy way to say this, but 5 years ago when you were born, the Kyuubi attacked the village. Sandaime said that I killed the Kyuubi, but that is impossible. Kyuubi is a mass of chakra without actually a physical body, so it can't die. The only way I had to stop the Kyuubi was to seal it inside a newborn baby. I'm sorry to say, but I had to seal into you," he said with a bit of shame, wondering how Naruto would react. What do you mean by sealed?" "I am the Kyuubi," he asked, now realizing what all the names the villagers called him by. "No, you are neither a monster nor the Kyuubi, you are my son. And by sealed I mean that the Kyuubi is trapped in your gut, behind these bars." "Kyuubi come forward," Minato explained suddenly. Behind the bars of the empty cage, Naruto saw 2 glowing red eyes with black vertical slits. As the eyes approached 2 doors, he noticed the form of fox with tails swinging wildly in this back. There it stood behind the doors, the most powerful being in the world, the most powerful of the 9 Bujuu, the Kyuubi no Yoko, the 9-tailed demon fox. Naruto, seeing this, jumped back scared to see the monster that attacked the village and was responsible for many deaths. "No need to fear me, Kit," the Kyuubi said, watching the poor kid. He knew too well what the villagers did to him. "Naruto," Minato said, getting Naruto's attention. "This is the Kyuubi and he's not the demon everyone thinks he is. The attack 5 years ago was not his fault," Minato said, and started explaining what happened in that fateful night 5 years ago. From when Naruto was born, to the masked man unleashing the Kyuubi and controlling it to attack the village, to Minato sealing him into him. Naruto was still frozen, absorbing what happened, everything his father was saying. Naruto didn't know what to say, it was just too much. "Naruto," Minato continued, "I'm sorry that I had to seal that Kyuubi into you. You had a harsh life until now, but I trust with this it will be slightly better," Minato said, and touched Naruto's stomach, effectively transferring the seal key to Naruto and opening the cage. "What are you doing?" Naruto asked, worried that his father opened the cage and let the Kyuubi out. "Naruto, I told you that I wasn't that Kyuubi's fault that night. The Kyuubi will help you grow up and he'll be at your side to help you in your battle and provide advice. The only thing I ask of you is when you're close to your death that you release the Kyuubi. He didn't deserve to trapped in a cage to be used as a weapon," Minato said. "Will you really be my friend?" Naruto asked, still a bit fearful of the fox. "Of course, I will take care of you and make you strong so you can protect your home and friends," the Kyuubi replied, and what happened next surprised everyone in the mindscape. Naruto suddenly left his father's side and jumped into the paw of the Kyuubi. "So soft and warm," he said, getting chuckles from both Kyuubi and Minato. "Now Naruto, there is more that I need to tell you. I don't know if you realized it, but doesn't your vision seem different?" Minato asked. "Actually it's all black and white with you being blue and Kyuubi red," Naruto replied. "Naruto, do you know who Uchiha Madara is?" Minato asked, getting a disgusted growl from the Kyuubi, clearly showing no love to the Uchiha leader. "Yup, I know he was one of the founders of the Leaf and was leader of Uchiha clan, that is supposed to be one of the strongest in the world," Naruto said, surprising his father. Naruto, even though was 5-year-old, was very smart and did like to read, but going into the library was impossible as he was always expelled. "Exactly, but what you and anyone doesn't know is that Madara was in fact my father. I never said anything to anyone because I decided to keep it a secret," he said. Naruto's eyes widened when he discovered that the legendary Uchiha Madara was his grandfather. "I am the son of the Yondaime Hokage Konoha's Yellow Flash and the Great Uchiha Madara. There is no way I'm not becoming Hokage," Naruto thought. With my you begin my San, father, and Madara being my Oji-san, grandfather, there is no way I'm not becoming Hokage, believe it," Naruto yelled, pumping his fist to the air and getting a smile from Minato. "I have no doubt you will, Naruto," Minato said, ruffling Naruto's hair. "Now you know that the Uchiha clan have a bloodline, more specifically a jutsu, right?" Naruto nodded. "This bloodline is called the Sharingan and you activated its first level. Look at the floor." Naruto looked down and saw his reflection in the water. His eyes were blood red with a black tomoe in each eye. "The Sharingan will evolve until it's fully matured, getting 3 tomos in each eye," Minato concluded. He didn't want to go any further into the Mangekyou. His time was ending and the Kyuubi could explain it if he ever unlocked it. "God, I hope he never has to go through that," Minato thought. "Oh, I knew I was awesome," Naruto said, happy about knowing everything about his family and finding he had a bloodline. "Now Naruto, pay attention to what I'm going to say," Minato started. "I know that you always wanted a family, but you can't go to the Uchiha clan, besides having the Kyuubi in you. Which if they find out that you are an Uchiha they will use it for their own gain. I want you to be a good person and not an arrogant, power-hungry like the Uchihas are. Never rely too much on the Sharingan. Remember that the Sharingan is only a tool, having it doesn't make you all-powerful, okay?" Minato asked, getting a nod. "Okay, my time is ending. Everything I have including my clan's techniques and weapons are in the Namikaze compound and only you can enter since there's a blood seal around it. Be careful so that no one finds out. I have many enemies, as did Madara. If you ever wish to reveal your true heritage, I ask you to reveal when you are strong enough to protect yourself and anyone you care about. There are people that would stop at nothing to kill you or your friends to get revenge at me, Minato said with a bit of regret. After all, during the Third Shinobi War he was responsible for slaughtering Iwa's forces. Do you know how to use chakra to deactivate your eyes? He asked, getting a nod from Naruto. I'm fading, my chakra is almost over. Remember, Naruto, me and your mother loved you very much and I'm sorry that you had to live this life and growing up without love. Minato said, sad on how everything turned out. He asked the Sandaime so that the village saw Naruto as their hero, but he was too naive. Don't worry, San, I got to meet you after all. You did what you needed to protect our home, Naruto said, getting a smile from Minato as he said to fade away until he was no longer standing in front of him. Naruto woke up in the alleyway wondering if it was all a dream until he heard a voice in his head. No, Kit, it wasn't a dream. I'm here after all. You should deactivate your eyes for now and start training. I will help you in every way I can, and when you are old enough I will train to use my powers. Kibai said, thank you, at least I have you with me. I could use the company, Naruto replied, happy with everything it happened. Who knew that this night would turn out to be his best birthday? You don't need to speak out loud or people will think you are crazy. Just think and I will hear it. Also, now that the cage is open you gain my second ability. You are able to sense people around you, and in time with training you will be able to sense their feelings. You should tell the Hokage what happened, he will help you, but keep him in the dark about my help for now, the Kibai said, getting a nod from Naruto as he got up, deactivated his Sharingan and started to make his way to the Hokage Tower. 15 minutes later, Hokage Tower, Naruto made his way into the Hokage office after arguing with the secretary and threatening her to tell the Hokage that she called him a demon. The reason Naruto never found out about the Kibai is that apparently the Hokage placed an S-rank law that prohibited anyone from telling him he had the Kibai in him, and anyone who broke it was subjected to immediate execution. Old man, Naruto said, earning a smile from the old Hokage, happy to see Naruto and getting a break from the Hokage's number one enemy, paperwork. Naruto-kun, how are you? Do you need anything? The Hokage asked. Even thought the Hokage wasn't actually related to Naruto. He has grown quite close to him in the last couple of years, treating him like a grandson. I wanted to ask you if you could tell me who my parents are? Naruto asked, messing up with the Hokage a bit before he tell him what happened. I wonder how he will react, he thought. I already told you, Naruto, I'm sorry but I don't know who your parents are, all I know is that they are heroes that died fighting the Kibai, the Hokage replied. He couldn't tell Naruto who his parents are, he was too young. Gigi, before I tell what I came here for, can you tell your Anbu to leave? I only want to tell you this, Naruto said, getting a surprised face from the Hokage. How do you know that there are Anbu in the room? He asked, to which Naruto replied saying, I can sense them above the ceiling. Naruto replied. Very well, the Hokage said, and with a flick of a hand he signaled his 4 Anbu bodyguards to leave the room. Now Naruto, what do you want to tell me? He asked Gigi. Are you sure you sent them all away? I can still sense another person there, Naruto said, pointing behind the bookcase. Once Naruto said that, the 4 Anbu quickly returned and dashed towards the intruder and quickly immobilizing it. The intruders had normal Anbu gear, black bands and steel plate in the chest for protection, but his mask was completely white with the kanji for root. Damn that Dansu, sticking his nose where he shouldn't, Hokage thought. Naruto, you are indeed a skilled censor, you actually caught an intruder that was in here, Hokage said. Oh, I knew that I was awesome, Naruto replied, getting a chuckle from the old Hokage. After the room was empty, Naruto approached the pictures of the previous Hokages and stopping in front of the picture of the 4th, turning to the Hokage he said. Anything you want to tell me? The Hokage paled when Naruto asked him. How did you find out? The Hokage asked, wondering how did Naruto find out Very few people knew that Minato was his father. Now that I think about it, I could almost be his twin. I wonder how anyone never noticed, Naruto said and started explaining everything that happened, leaving the Kyuubi helping him, he being Madara's grandson and him having the Sharingan. Minato really was a genius. To think even dead he gives me headache, the Hokage thought. Now that you know, what are you going to do? You know you can't tell anyone. The Hokage asked. I'm going to train to become strong like my father was, and then I'm going to take that hat of yours, Naruto replied, getting a chuckle from the old Hokage, to which he said, I have no doubt you will. 1 year later. 1 year has passed since Naruto found who his father was, and training couldn't be going better, with the help of the Kyuubi. Naruto was now 6 years old, and he was never caught by the villagers except if there was a trained Shinobi among them. Even then Naruto managed to fool him to escape. Kyuubi had Naruto training primarily in chakra control, since one of the benefits of having a tailed beast sealed inside of a human is that it gave that person ungodly amounts of chakra and almost unending stamina. However, if you mix the Kyuubi with what you might call the Uzumaki bloodline, it wasn't exactly a bloodline, but many members called it the tailless beast curse. Members of the Uzumaki clan had unmatched amounts of chakra. The regular Chunin of the Uzumaki clan had same amount of a cage. Naruto was only 6 years old but already had enough chakra to match most Jonin. However, with so much chakra, control was extremely difficult. In the beginning, any jutsu that Naruto tried, he overwhelmed it with chakra, causing it to fail or blow up in his face. The first jutsu that Naruto learned was Hinge no Jutsu, that allowed Naruto to change its appearance. Naruto actually asked the Hokage for him to teach him. Flashback 1 year ago. Hey old man, call you teach man the Hinge, Naruto asked. Why do you want to learn it? Can't you wait for the academy to start? The Hokage asked, to which Naruto replied, ever since I found out who my father was, I want to train and grow stronger, but I need to enter the library and I can't because they think of me as the Kyuubi. The Hokage lowered his head, ashamed he couldn't convince the villagers or protect Naruto. I'm sorry Naruto, I tried my best to protect you, he said. No worries, just teach it to me. It will help me to get into the library and not get expelled from stores too, Naruto said. Okay, it's very simple. The hand seals are Dogboram, then you release chakra to cover your body and think of the image you want, the Hokage said, and which Naruto tried to transform into the Hokage, and the result was, I don't even know what it was. Go train now, I have work to do, the Hokage said. Okay, thank you, catch you later, he replied, and flashback with Hinge at his side, his life got significantly better. Although he hated to pretend to be someone else with the Hinge, he managed to enter the library and go to stores and get good food for normal prices. What surprised him was that the villagers were actually friendly and good persons. The hate for the Kyuubi simply clouded their judgment. Naruto promised that one day he would get their acknowledgement, and if couldn't, at least they would respect his power. He wouldn't want to make people fear him, but it would better than discard him like trash. Even though Naruto wouldn't have access to the Shinobi section of the library since he was a civilian, he decided to try and hinge into one the Shinobi. It worked like clockwork. The secretary didn't have Shinobi training, so she couldn't detect Naruto's hinge. He searched the Shinobi section and found what he wanted: Introduction to Chakra Control, Basics of Chakra, and even read a few scrolls for the basic forms of Taijutsu Academy Taijutsu. One of the best things he could ever hope for was his Sharingan. Even though for now his Sharingan still had one Tomoe in each eye. Anytime he found any Shinobi in the trainings grounds, he watched with his Sharingan to try and learn what he could. Even though the Sharingan was in its first level, he could see glimpses of a few jutsus. After watching a spar between two Chunin, Naruto managed to copy the Kawarimi no Jutsu. Naruto decided one night to sneak around the village into the Namikaze compound. Naruto bit his finger to draw blood and pressed it against the main gates. There was a puff of smoke and the gate unlocked. The compound itself was small, much smaller than that of the Hyugas or the Ukkas. He first thought of moving into the compound, but he couldn't let anyone see him, so he decided to wait until he revealed who he was. Looking around the compound, it had 5 rooms, 3 bathrooms, 3 living rooms and a couple storage rooms. But the biggest room was the library. It had tons of scrolls of taijutsu, ninjutsu and a few genjutsu, books in fuinjutsu written by his father and from Uzumaki clan, including kinjutsu. There were journals and diaries of the clan. His father must have collected what he found about the clan and stored it here along with his mother, since she also was the last of her clan. After searching, Naruto decided to open a few scrolls until he found his father's personal taijutsu style. The Namikes were never a shinobi clan, they were only civilians. Minato hoped to start his clan along with the Uzumaki in Konoha. Minato never actually named his style, but it appeared to a mix between Hyuga's gentle fist style with the Ukai's interceptor fist, which relied in the Sharingan. The style was based in predicting and avoiding the enemy's attacks with fast counterattacks to the enemy's pressure points. One strike was all it was necessary to disable arms, legs and even paralyze completely or kill the enemy. It was similar to gentle fist style of the Hyugas. Instead of attacking tenketsu, chakra points, it focused pressure points. Naruto's training program was killer. With the help of the Kyuubi to guide him, he started in the morning and worked all day long so that after sleep he could start again next day. One fateful day, Kyuubi forbade Naruto of his constant ramen eating, forcing him to eat vegetables and balanced diet. It was a dark day. Along with his training, Naruto also wore weights to increase his muscle mass and speed. Only a couple of pounds so it wouldn't stunt his growth. He was 6 years old after all, but he was already at level of a Genin, except he couldn't the Bushin no Jutsu. The minimum amounts of clones he could was 100, which wasn't very helpful when Naruto only wanted 1. At least it would confuse the enemy to no end. The first weapon that Naruto decided to learn was the bow. He read about it in a book, and since the Hokage was master with this type of weapon, he asked if he could borrow a few scrolls. Currently Naruto always had with him a wooden bow. To anyone else it was simply a piece of wood. However, Naruto was a level 2 bow master, 2 of 5 at 6 years old. The biggest development Naruto had was his tactical mind. Maybe it was having a fox sealed in him, which made Naruto extremely cunning and skillful in traps. Combining this with a mind of a prankster, the next few years would be dark times for Konoha. One day Naruto was walking through the village. Since his henge wasn't up, he got the usual glares and the occasional empty bottle thrown at him, which he simply dodged. Naruto was going for his weekly ramen meal. The Kyuubi allowed Naruto to eat a ramen meal twice a week, which is better than none at all. Stupid fox and his vegetables, he thought. Ungrateful breath. If you eat only ramen, you will become a midget. You need a proper diet to grow, said the Kyuubi. In the last year, Naruto and Kyuubi have grown closer. As close as a human and a fox can. After you ignore the constant bickering and death threats, they both liked and respected each other. Fine, I get it, furball, Naruto replied and continued walking to his ramen stand. Naruto was walking, not really paying attention to anything around him, until he heard a couple kids arguing about something. Getting curious, he looked closer. He found 3 kids around the age of 10, most likely academy students, that were messing with a little girl. She looked like she was his age. She had neck-length dark blue hair and white eyes, trademark of the Hyuga clan. Deciding to help her, he ran up to them. "Hey, leave her alone," Naruto said, trying to get thugs away from the girl. "Oh, a kid playing hero. Get lost before we hurt you too," they said, which made Naruto jump in front of them, shielding the girl. Deciding to prove his point, he adopted his bow-style defensive stance. His left leg slightly ahead of his right, knees bent, both hands grasping his wooden bow in a downward position. I/N. I-hand stance, he's trying to scare us. Let's teach him a lesson, they said, and pushed forward. One of the boys sent his right arm forward, trying to punch Naruto. Naruto simply used his bow to strike the boy's hand out of the way. Naruto then flipped his bow, sending a strike to the boy's chin, like an uppercut. Another boy tried to punch Naruto, to which he ducked and using his bow stroked the boy's leg, making him stumble forward, to which Naruto kneed the boy hard in the stomach, leaving him in the ground in pain. Naruto turned to the last boy, who froze his attacks after seeing his friends effortlessly defeated. Picking up his friends, he decided to run away before he also got hurt. Naruto, turning to see the girl, asked, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, thank you," the girl stuttered. Naruto didn't know if she was afraid of him, but he guessed she was just shy. "No problem, I'm Uzumaki Naruto. What's your name?" he asked. Hyuga Hinata, she replied, looking at her savior. Even though she was still young, she couldn't help but to blush and look down. Naruto was 6 years old but was quite a good-looking young man. "Come on, let me help you up," he said, grabbing her hand and pulling her up gently. He noticed that she didn't have the cage bird seal in her forehead. He remembered hearing the Hyuga heiress was his age, meaning that the girl in front of him was heiress to the Hyuga clan. She was pretty much Konoha's little princess. "Hey, I'm going to lunch at Ichirakus, wanna come?" he asked, to which Hinata slowly nodded. They walked together, and Hinata, seeing how the villagers glared at Naruto, wondered why. The walk was calm. They didn't talk much since Hinata was terribly shy. Arriving to the stand, Naruto ordered chicken ramen for both of them. "Oh, Naruto, is this your girlfriend?" a young girl from behind the counter asked in a teasing manner. Her name was Aum. She was in her teens, she had brown hair and eyes and a pretty face. She was wearing simple clothes and had a white apron. "No, nothing like that. We just met a couple minutes ago," he replied, blushing a bit. Even though he just met her, he could see that she was actually quite pretty and she would grow up to become a very beautiful woman. Hinata didn't say anything, she just blushed really hard and looked away so that no one could see her. They talked a bit during their meal. When they were finishing the food, a Hyuga member appeared and looked at Hinata. His name was Koa, branch member and Hinata's bodyguard. "Hinata-sama, there you are. Your father is waiting for you," he said, taking Hinata's hand and starting to leave. "Bye-bye, Naruto-kun, it was nice to meet you," she said, to which Naruto gave her foxy grin and looked at his meal to finish it. "Looks like you got yourself a little vixen," the Kyuubi said, chuckling. "She's not my girlfriend," Naruto thought, getting angry. "You say that now, but I'll see in a couple of years," the Kyuubi said, chuckling. "Perverted fox," he thought. After he finished the meal, he paid for it and left to his training. Few weeks later, Naruto was walking to his home. He had just finished his training and it was like any other day, painful. He was sore all over. During the last few weeks he increased his taijutsu training and started with weapons. He could now use kunai and shuriken with deadly accuracy, and with a sharingan he picked it up quickly. During his training he managed to level up his sharingan to level 2. Naruto now had 2 black domos in each eye and he was very proud of himself. He heard rumors of the Uchiha clan prodigy that managed to fully master the sharingan at the age of 8. Naruto said that he was going to fully mature it even sooner, and as fate would have it, Naruto didn't know how right he was. During his walk home he sensed 2 chakra signatures moving quietly through the woods. Placing 2 fingers in the ground and focusing in their chakra, he found that one of those chakra signatures belonged his friend Hinata he met a few weeks ago. Wondering what she was doing this later in the day, he went in search of her. When he arrived near both of them he saw a shinobi. It was a Kumo shinobi from his headband. He recognized this shinobi, it was the Kumo's ambassador for the new alliance between Konoha and Kumo. He noticed that he was carrying a bag in his back, to which Naruto, sensing Hinata's chakra, knew she was being kidnapped. Quickly throwing a couple of shurikens at the shinobi. The shinobi easily deflected them all and faced the attacker and was surprised. It was a small kid. "Hey kid, leave before I kill you. I am Jonin, you are no match for me," He-Man arrogantly said. But it was true, Naruto was Jonin level and he couldn't match a Jonin's power. However, Naruto was cunning. He knew that he needed to alert someone to come and help. Naruto, switch with me, I'll send a fireball to the sky to alert the Anbu. Naruto agreed and switched with the Kyuubi. The Kyuubi quickly went through a few hand seals, looked at the sky and yelled Gun, Gukuki no Jutsu, fire style, fireball technique. The Kumo Shinobi was impressed. I 6-year-old performing a C-rank fire technique, he shouldn't have chakra for that. Naruto just knew that he had to stall the man and activated his Sharingan. He didn't care if his secret got out as long as Hinata stayed safe. The Kumo Shinobi decided to engage and quickly kill the kid to leave before reinforcements arrived. The Kumo Shinobi threw a couple shurikens and yelled Shuriken Cage Bushin no Jutsu. The shuriken multiplied to a few dozens. Naruto couldn't deflect them all and jumped to the left, to which the enemy was waiting, and kicked him hard in the stomach and punched in the face. Naruto crashed into a tree and fell to the ground, clutching his stomach in pain. The Kumo Shinobi walked to Naruto thinking he just won, after all it was just a small kid. Then he noticed his eyes, they were the Sharingan, and he thought a Uchiha rescuing a Hyuga, how ironic, but still I'll take him too. 2 bloodlines are better than 1, and the Sharingan is one of the most powerful. The Shinobi went to grab Naruto by the neck but stumbled forward when he noticed it was a Bushin. Naruto took this opportunity, removing his weights and channeling a bit of the Kyuubi's chakra. His body couldn't take much right now, charged in a burst of speed to the Shinobi with a kunai in his hand and pressing his kunai against the man's chest, effectively killing him. The Kumo Shinobi wondered how it happened. How could a kid this age be so fast and defeat him? And then he noticed his blood-red eyes with 3 black tomos in each eye glowing and spinning. The Shinobi fell to the ground dead. Naruto knew he just killed the enemy and it was his first kill. Even though he was ashamed of what he did, he needed to do it. The man wouldn't leave without Hinata and he had to protect her. Growing up alone made Naruto overprotective. He would fearlessly jump and destroy another village to protect his friends. Since he never had any, the few he has he would give his life to protect. Getting up slowly, he stumbled a bit forward, looked like that kick broke a few ribs. Walking to Hinata, he opened the bag and Hinata saw her savior for the second time. It was the blonde kid she met a few weeks ago. She then quickly jumped and hugged and started crying. "Ush, it's okay. You are safe now. I won't let anyone hurt you," he whispered to her to comfort her. She was hugging him when the reinforcements arrived, led by Hyuga Hayashi, Hyuga clan leader, and he saw what happened. Apparently the demon brat killed the Kumo Shinobi and saved his daughter. He walked to Naruto, yanking him from Hinata. "Stay away from her. Even thought I appreciate what you did, I would like if kept your distance from her," Hayashi said in cold and hard tone. Grabbing Hinata's hand and leaving, he said, "You are still weak, you are too soft and almost ended up being kidnapped. You are unworthy of being the heir of the clan," he said, and left without even letting Hinata say goodbye to Naruto. The Hokage arrived a few minutes later and the Anbu told him what happened. His eyes widened when he noticed it was Naruto who saved Hinata and managed to kill the Kumo Shinobi. "Naruto, are you alright? How are you feeling?" the Hokage asked, concerned. The first kill was the hardest and sometimes broke Shinobi and ended their career before it even started. "I'm alright, only a couple of broken ribs, but the furball will take care of that. Even though I feel bad that I killed him, I knew it was the only option. I knew I needed to delay him as much as I could, and if opportunity presented itself, kill him. So don't worry about me. It's the life of the Shinobi after all," Naruto said with a weak smile that the Hokage caught. "I understand, Naruto. Don't worry, tomorrow come see me, I'll give you the payment of a B-rank mission for this," the Hokage said, ruffling his hair, and Naruto nodded and started to walk home. Even though he killed a man tonight, he managed to save Hinata, and actually he broke the Uchiha's prodigy record. "Looks like I got my Sharingan matured at age 6. He said to himself, chuckling as he went home to a long night of sleep. Thank you for watching.